I'm gonna film you. What do I do? Just
It's already recording. You can zoom right here.
I know.
It zooms. But you don't have to. Turn on the floor. Just leave it going. Alright, so last video you saw the Mustang exhaust being built. This is our new NV Spec Miata. So the man behind the camera retrieved this from Ohio. It's a 1.8 99 car, and right now we're remounting the seat. Turn the camera, show the seat that was, so that's the seat that was previously in the car. As you can see, even though I'm pretty skinny, it was even tight for me. And was mounted in the sky with, where are the brackets? Just had them on the floor. It had two floating brackets mounted here and here that were mounted on the side of the seat, and then there was a tube that went across. My dad had to spend the last hour cutting out. But now it is a clean surface on the sides, so we're going to put a piece of bar stock on the floor to mount, and it's going to go under the bottom of the seat. So then it has a lot more stable of a mounting point, and it's lower, so then the bottom of the seat where your ass is going to be flat to the floor of the car. And we're going to have the back of the seat fully to the back of the car because we're both tall. The seat's already been clearanced for the roll hoop, so we shouldn't have to do too much clearancing on that. And what else?
nothing like a 30-hour round trip to get a race car.
Yeah, but seems like it's a good car. Got to mess around with the belt a little bit. It was squeaking before. Put a restrictor plate in it, brakes, hubs. What else? It's a whole list actually. Wait, show the list on the windshield. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. And we have 2 weeks to get the car prepped. But it has the Spec Miata sway bar. It has Bilsteins currently. We're trying to get our hands on some Penske's before Thompson. And we need to do lower ball joints to get the camber that we need on the car. Let's see, what else we got on here? Mount tires, inspect rims.
Dyno test next Saturday.
Yeah, so we have, so today, we'll show you eventually. Today we picked up a engine for the 1.6 car, which you guys have seen. I posted the whole race video when I won at Thompson. It's the same race that we're leading into that I won last year. But we got a new refurbished engine for that car because that car is down on power by how much percent?
12% to the lowest car.
So dyno tuned and tested 30 cars, all Spec Miatas, and our car was over 17 horsepower under the lowest horsepower car. So we made 103 horsepower. The average Spec Miata makes around 120. So with the new engine, we're hopefully going to make some room for ourselves on track.
And that's at a 1.6 liter. This new car
Is a 1.8.
with a Rossini engine.
Yeah. So Rossini's another engine shop. We luckily got in with Kessler Engineering for our new engine, and that will be the new engine for the other car. The other car supposedly had a built head, but the theory is that when they built the head, they planed it and didn't put a big enough head gasket. So when the piston goes to top dead center, it's hitting the head. So that's why we can't get very much power out of that car currently. A fan of the seating position? A lot better, right?
This is awesome.
You're like, seriously? As far back as possible. The harness bar still has like a two finger gap basically
I'm
to
lower
the seat.
than in our other car.
Yeah. Of course you are. This seat is a lot less, is like form-fitting. compared to the other seat. The other seat's a dragster seat.
I don't even care if the seat is mounted perfect. This is
Well, so only reason why it's
because
crooked is because of that.
I'm worried about this piece
we're gonna
coming
have
in
to-
a little. But if it comes in
feel
half
the
an inch-
shifting position. Move this out. The shifting position's perfect,
This
right?
is-
Doesn't that isn't that where the ideal the leg room, knee to steering wheel's
I've
perfect?
got so much room now.
I mean, so this is another welded steering column, like the other car, but this one, the quick release is a lot longer. So
I'm happy. I think I got a good helmet on.
yeah, definitely. Want me to grab one of the helmets?
No, I think
Yeah,
bend this wing. Weld the bar.
yeah, okay.
Fuck, this is.
You're gonna damage your concrete.
Just a little aluminum flake. I have to tape measure.
All right, so right now we're bending the shoulder on the seat. It's coming in a little.
1/4 inch.
All right, so it's the next day. Went to bed, finished up watching Formula One yesterday. It was the Spanish Grand Prix. Pretty good race. But yeah, so where we left off, I tack welded the 2 bars in here. I'm probably gonna hit the seat out a little bit more, and then I'm gonna only weld around the edge of the bar, so then if we ever have to remove these bars and remount a seat, or let's say we sell the car for the next owner for mounting, it's not welded flat across the bottom. I might do some stitch welds though, possibly, on the front and back of those bars. As you can see, that rear bar isn't straight, but the seat isn't straight, so that's why it's like that right now. So I'm gonna have to reposition that rear bar. Front bar is pretty straight though. For the mounting, you can see we got these lips on the seat, and I'm gonna drill through that lip right there, and we'll have a bolt that goes straight through the floor, that goes through the bottom of the seat on the front, and then we have the holes already mentioned before earlier in the video that we're going to be putting the rear bolts through. We might put a rear brace that goes to the harness bar, but honestly, if I mount this good, we really shouldn't have to. I got to check for suspension reinforcements and subframe reinforcements, because on our white car we completely broke the subframe in half. So got to see if this car has that, because we don't want the same thing happening. That was a lot of extra money that didn't need to be spent when we broke that subframe to get that car going again. Got to check the exhaust also. We know there is a custom exhaust, but I haven't looked at it yet. It doesn't sound too loud, so it should make it fine for the next race, but it's good to see. There might be some holes in it, so I might need to weld that. All right, just got done mounting the seat, and I just welded a part of the cage because there was a hole, not a hole, they just literally didn't weld around this part of the cage on this car. So, if I go down here, oh my God, you can see that I just welded that there. It's not beautiful, but it's welded now. It was a full hole around the back. It literally was just like this front edge here was the only bit that they welded. So I welded around the back, drilled the holes for this, Got the holes in there for the seat. Now I'm going to paint it. And I'm going to paint that edge of the cage also. So that it doesn't rust, I'm going to have to vacuum in here first. But I will show you guys the final fit of the seat after I paint it. Alright, just painted the interior of the car, painted up to where I welded the cage. It's looking pretty good. I laid down some primer first, and then didn't really let it dry, honestly. Kind of impatient, but got some white paint over it, and it's looking pretty damn good. You want to show off your fuse box?
The magic of Amazon. And it comes with a cover.
So what are you wiring to that?
We're running a ground to the battery to have a good ground. I have a hot lead for the cool box, and we will have a ground to the fuse block for the cool box.
So I just drained the radiator of antifreeze, put some ice water in it, and made a massive mess.
Shout out to ice water.
Where's the bag? Ice water.
Better than water wetter.
10 times better.
10 times better.
It says it on the bag at least. It seems to work. What was the temperature difference in the Mustang? What, 15, 20 degrees-ish?
We ran a 650 horsepower small block Ford versus a Spec Miata 1.6 liter, and ran more than 10 degrees cooler on the small block Ford.
Yep, pretty
Try
ridiculous.
That with water weather. Not gonna happen.
So put in the restrictor plate in the intake. So now we have that in there. We are now legal.
38 millimeter Spec Miata
So
restrictor.
that little purple plate right there. Emptied out the coolant overflow. We're gonna scale the car. I'm probably gonna get started on doing that while he does the fuse box. So I'm gonna pull the scales over right now. So when we opened the trunk, we found this in the car. A pile of lead to make weight.
Loose.
Loose in the back, just sitting where the spare tire would.
30 years of racing. I have never seen weight put in a race car
It's just
like that.
pretty much.
Trickle charger wire. Everything hidden under a boot. The battery is reversed so that the positive terminal isn't out here, because if you get hit in a race, the wheel well and all this metal can collapse on the positive terminal and ground out and cause a fire. So the trick is to loosen all these wires and turn the battery around to avoid the potential catastrophe.
Yeah, and we already got hit in that corner in the other car by a Ford Focus.
Who lost his whole left front suspension.
Yeah. That was pretty ridiculous. Alright, car's down. Let's see what we got. Ooh, why is the right rear so low? It's kind of weird. So we brought it to the dyno, as you saw in the last clip, and we made 116 horsepower out of this thing. Not exactly what we were looking for. A little bit underpowered for a car in SM. So kind of disappointed with the engine. Don't really know what we're going to do on next. One of the things is it has a shitty exhaust on it currently. So we're probably going to change it to a Cook's exhaust. So that should hopefully free up about 1 to 2 horsepower. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but with these kind of cars it matters a lot, especially when you're in a low horsepower range. Did the brakes, so pads, rotors. Then brought it over to Rossmar, which is a Miata shop in New Milford, Connecticut. And happily they took us in, literally testing tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, today's currently Thursday. So it's been a 2-week build since we got this thing. And so they put in a diff. That's why we brought it down there. It's really the only thing we can't do currently, or at least we haven't learned how to build a Miata diff. So they put together, we got 2 diffs in buckets, like pails for paints and whatever. And one of them was an open diff, one of them was a Torsen. The diff that was in the car was an open diff, so we got that changed out. Now we have a Torsen in there. So then the car will handle. We did not get to put Penske's in like we planned to. All right, so just got done working at the track today. Super hot, very high humidity. It's Friday. It's currently like 2:30. I'm gonna start driving to Thompson. I'm in the F-150 with the white Miata behind me. I'm gonna get in a test session in the NB, so I'm super excited about that. And yeah, 2 hour and 20-minute drive ahead of me. Hopefully Alex responds to my call. He should be hopefully driving up tomorrow morning to help out with the cars. Maybe some other people are gonna stop by and help out. But yeah, that's all I got for now. I'll show you guys the setup when we get to the track or something. I don't know. More than enough. Give an update. How's the car?
New car is great, handles great. Now we got the fast tires on, no more Toyos. We're on the Hoosier SM7.
So I'm going out now. I'm in my suit, all that. Should be interesting. What was your fast lap?
129.7.
Okay. We'll get around there. Fastest lap in the 1.6 car I think was like a 132-ish, so already faster on a slower tire. It's a 30-minute session. Alright, so I'm going to do some voiceover right now for this lap. This was my fastest lap of the weekend in the NB at least. I ran 2 sessions on Friday. I did not race it on Saturday, obviously. My dad was driving it. He ended up getting 10th in the second race, so came out pretty good. The Bilsteins that were in the car did not perform very well, so the car was driving like a bit of a pig and pushing, and you had to turn in very early, and you know, we didn't have an alignment really on it, so just not great on track, but we worked it, you know. That's really, I attest that to more my driving skill, my dad's driving skill. But I did a 125 in this lap, which is a pretty quick lap. But in the NA, actually, I ran a low 124, so a lot faster in a, on paper, slower car. But yeah, I think definitely this car, when we get the Penske's in it, will be way faster than what the NA is currently. But when we put in that new engine, the NA should be extremely fast also. So it'll be definitely interesting to see how they shake up next to each other.